I'll go ahead and call to order at 7:06 for the month of June. So do you mind muting that real quick? Thank you. Perfect. Yeah, so I think, no, thanks for everybody that's coming out today. We have quite the agenda here, so we're going to try and keep it fairly snappy. The first order of business is old business, and that is always going through and approving the meeting minutes. And so we did print those out and share those in the newsletter previously, and there was a quick note that it looks like some of the member names that were written on here are doubled up. So I think that if basically what we can do is, since we've sent them out prior, we can go ahead and make that correction. So Drew, I don't know if you would be able to make the corrections as far as removing any doubled up member names. But if that is the case and we can make that correction, since we've sent it out prior, there's also copies here if anybody would like to review in person. But with that correction though, I was going to make a motion to approve the minutes as corrected. I think just one of us have to make that motion. Or yeah, asking if there is a motion to approve the minutes as corrected, which would be removing the duplicates.
Yeah, I'll motion to approve.
Okay, so RJ makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, perfect.
Jinx.
Cool, so we have a second. So what we'll do is we'll go through, we'll remove all the duplicates, we'll clean those up. And does anyone have any additional corrections that they would like to bring up? Otherwise, if nobody disputes us approving the minutes, we'll approve as is. So does anyone have any additional corrections or dispute approving the minutes? Cool, unanimous approval. All right, that's great. We'll move forward then. Thanks for doing that. So just jumping into a few quick chair updates. So first and foremost, just wanted to say thank you for everybody that came out to the bazaar and the parade. That was a huge deal last month. We're all super excited. I know that, I think all of us at the board that were working the booth had some really fantastic conversations with folks. And I included it in my newsletter, but I can't tell you how many people we had that were new to the neighborhood during COVID and just trying to get more out there and involved. And so I think that's another big piece of the community to come out and kind of meet and greet and interface with everybody. So super, super happy. I think we ended up adding around, between that and our Earth Day cleanup, around 80 or so new newsletter signups. So a lot of new engagement. So if any of those are you, either in the room or on the Zoom, welcome. This is how we normally do this. So yeah, super excited to be here. In addition to that, we wanted to welcome, we actually have a new board member, which is wonderful. We have Matthew Gimbel, who is on Zoom today, I believe a few time zones away, but yeah, I wanted to give Matthew an opportunity to say hi or introduce yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I wish I could be there in person. I'm hoping you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, my internet has not, I'm currently in a remote cabin in Wisconsin. So if I drop out or am silent for minutes at a time, please excuse me. It's not that I don't want to be there. And in the future, I will, I love meetings, so I'll be sure to be there. But thank you so much.
Yeah, great. And then Matthew and I are going to work together, but just a few things. He's joining as an at-large member. A few pieces I think that we spoke about previously, Matthew, that were of interest were transportation, maybe public art, or I don't know if you want to maybe speak to a couple of things that maybe you're looking to get involved in.
Absolutely. I think once I'm there and on the ground, I'll have a much better idea of everything that I'll be doing. But those are absolutely the areas that I'm interested in, just kind of improving public well-being and walkability, just all of those things that kind of contribute to a sense of community. And yeah, that's like I said, I think I'll get a better idea once I've had some more time and been able to attend a meeting in person. But
perfect.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, welcome aboard, Matthew. We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, I'll keep things rolling here. Another last piece for those that may have heard my spiel in the past, but we do have open board positions, and one is specifically, I would say, critical for our board that we don't have currently right now, and that's land use. And so this is just an open call, I would say, to anybody that may be interested, or if you know of anybody that may be interested. But what land use primarily does is responsible for collecting the mail at the Kenton Firehouse and reviewing all development notices, which I just picked up today. And it allows an opportunity for any community feedback, any specific requests. We've had some previous land use board members who, worked with developers to maybe save a specific tree, or, work through an easement piece with a fence, or all those sorts of things. So very critical, I think, to St. John's and the neighborhood. So just an open call for volunteers. If that is of interest, you can go ahead and send an email to info@stjohnspdx.org, or you can talk to me after if anybody is interested in the room as well. And then a piece of housekeeping here. So our hybrid meeting schedule. So this has been a fantastic room. I know it's worked really, really well for us, and I know we've kind of dialed in the tech where it's working really well on YouTube as well. But James John is going to be closing for a deep clean over the next 2 months. So for July and August, we will not be in this room. We're working through as a board. We have some backup opportunities that we're chatting through that we're going to be probably making a decision at the end of the month on our next board meeting. So be on the lookout in the newsletter. We'll definitely alert where we're going to be. But at this time, we are kind of finalizing a few different locations just for July and August. And to also, hopefully people can be rest assured, I've already requested September through February, which is the latest I can go, and it's already been approved. So we have it all the next school year. So it's just those 2 months. We'll be back. And then the last piece on my list here, and then we have a couple really great guest speakers. I'm going to show my screen here, but for those not following along, the IDC, Independent District Commission, is working on redistricting the city of Portland into our new voting blocks, and they're released 3 maps actually right at the beginning of the month, which will be considered for public comment and whatnot. So essentially, for those that aren't in the know, we collectively as a population voted to approve a new form of government, which will consist of 4 member districts, 3 representatives per district representing at City Hall, and a mayor elected citywide. And so what this process is doing is going through the redistricting process and working through how to split up Portland. And so there's a lot of different things you can read about on the IDC website, or on the news, even on some of the differences in these maps. But the one thing I will say that has really pleased us as a board, and specifically up here in St. John's, is all 3 maps retain North Portland as one specific overarching neighborhood, which is great. So we as St. John's are not going to be a part of the discussion as far as some of the other neighborhoods that wouldn't be necessarily within our realm. But we did submit written approval saying we approve the 3 maps as shown, retaining St. John's, Cathedral Park, and the rest of North Portland. And then we'll kind of go from there. But what I would suggest to do for any of those that do want to kind of get involved, the Independent District Commission, their website is great, but they're going to be hosting 8 public hearings in July in each proposed district. So there will be 2 in our district, TBD, not sure where, but I'll find out and I'll include it in the newsletter. But I'm intending on attending in person, but also they take written testimony and feedback as well. So we're very pleased with the maps and how they're shown and how they're presented. But again, if you all as individuals would like to further input, yeah, I definitely highly recommend looking up the IDC website and the Portland Transition Project. Very good. Well, we have a very special guest with PBOT that we're going to get to in just a moment, but I think in the interim, we have a gentleman here from Friends of Pier Park that was going to make an announcement on some summer activities.
My name is Steve Davis. I'm chair of Friends of Pier Park.
Sorry, Steve, do you mind coming up here just so they can hear you on Zoom? Thank you. Yeah, you're good, you're good. You can just sit there and they'll be able to hear you then. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Steve Davis. I'm chair of Friends of Pier Park. We're a nonprofit that supports Portland Parks and Rec and Pier Park. Hopefully, if you all know where Pier Park is and know what it is. If you don't, go to our website, friendsofpierpark.org. Take a look. We have a talented vice chair who's raised a lot of money through grants for us over the last 4 years. And we've been spending everything we've raised on projects that we support for the park. We've bought plants. We've instituted an education program with Sitton Elementary School to get their kids over in the park planting. We've got some new arts benches that come from Sequoia that was cut down to put a path through the Sequoia Grove over there. And unfortunately, they're not in yet because of the wet winter, but you'll see them in the park soon. And we've started a new initiative. And this summer, we are having 3 concerts in the park. Last Saturday, concerts in the park. If you know the playground sitting in the little meadow in the center of the park, they'll be the last Saturday of each June, July, and August from 3 to 6 o'clock. Various different performers. The first one will be the jazz band from Roosevelt High School, award-winning jazz band. So we invite you to come and have a picnic in that park. Listen to the music. It is free. We do hope that people who can afford it can chip in. And we are soliciting for business sponsorships to try and raise money. The main focus of those is the community. Bring the neighbors to the park together. But secondary, if we can get business sponsors, we want to raise money to make this an annual thing. So, and we're also hosting a disc golf tournament. You may know that there's an 18-hole disc golf course in there. It's a world-renowned disc golf course. And we're working with Huck Lab, who are going to be a tournament director for us. So if you're a disc golfer, come there. And for that, we're also looking for sponsors. But most important, please see us in the park and see what we've done over there. Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Jack. Great. Oops. Okay. All right, we're good. Thanks. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I think we're pretty good on time here. So I'm going to kick it over to Mike Saratella. I think hopefully that's got your name right. But Mike, I think is going to be here. He's a great friend from PBOT. Going to be going through some findings for those that may know North Portland in Motion, and then working through some new developments coming to the neighborhood. So Mike, what I had you down for in the agenda was until around 7:40. So if you want to give some time in between there for some Q&A, that'd be great. But otherwise, it's all yours.
Cool. Yeah, thank you, Patrick. Thank you, St. John's Neighborhood Association and all the folks who are joining me tonight. Looks like a beautiful room. I wish I could be there in person. So I'll have to come in September. It looks like a lot of fun. Do you, Patrick, think you could give me screen share privileges?
Oh, right. Yeah, Paul, can you do that by chance?
Well, while Paul's working on that, I'll introduce myself. I'm Mike Saratella. I'm a senior transportation planner at PBOT. And I've been managing the North Portland in Motion transportation plan over the past almost 2 years now. And we're recently crossed a really exciting milestone in the project where we've shared our near-term project recommendations. Can you all see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And yeah, there's a number of near-term priority projects in St. John's, the Cathedral Park neighborhood. So I'll provide a real quick kind of overview of those. We have information on our website. We have little cut sheets for all 17 of our near-term projects. And then we'll also be doing an online open house and presentation series later this summer, where we are going to ask for community to kind of weigh in on these projects, and then also some supportive programs and different partnerships that really kind of help round out the goals of the plan. Yeah, so I'll just jump right in. Yeah, so we're here. We've had a really good process so far over the past couple of years. Great engagement in St. John's with numerous online open houses and pop-up open houses, community walks and rides, focus groups and pop-ups in the plaza and the farmers market, and just good partnership from the neighborhood association, representation on our community advisory group, and always a welcome audience to invite me to share with you guys. So it's been awesome. I already loved St. John's before I did this project. It's one of the reasons why I got to work on it, but now I just love it even more. But yeah, we're at the kind of end of our plan here, where we're sharing out some of our recommendations and projects, and we'll be checking our work a couple more times with the community this summer, and then looking to go to council later this fall. And what's really exciting is that some of the projects that we've heard a lot of community support behind and are really just benefits and really exciting projects. We're actually in early project development right now and are trying to get them on the ground as soon as this fall. So we won't have to wait years after council adoption to see improvements on the ground. Couple quick updates while I'm here. We submitted, and we've been partnering with Tanya. I think I saw Tanya on the Zoom with Prosper Portland to apply for some grants to invest in the plaza in downtown St. John's. And so we submitted that grant last month, along with Prosper, to do some investments in the plaza, including some pedestrian scale lighting that would be delivered by PBOT. This is great for safety and activation, and also great for placemaking because you can attach all these cool things to that. So they have them in Kenton, they should have them in St. John's. Big news, last month or a month and a half ago, we got an almost $14 million grant from the federal government as a part of the big infrastructure bill to replace the 100-year-old Burgard Bridge in St. John's, which is just north of Pier Park. On Lombard, you'll have new sidewalks, new bike facility on that, and it will be seismically resilient, which is really important for St. John's. It's one of the, once this project's built, it will be the only really seismically resilient bridge connecting St. John's up and around. We are working actively right now to put a grant together for Columbia Boulevard as well, which is the PBOT-owned structure over the railroad cut. And then last but not least, we've been working with ODOT to develop a grant through their Great Streets program for a redesign of Lombard Street and the intersection at Lombard and Denver. I know this isn't in St. John's, but it's important kind of portal to the peninsula. We figured we'd let you guys know about it. We submitted a pre-app, we got to round 2, and now we're submitting the kind of final application, which we'll do later this summer. And we're looking for letters of support from throughout the neighborhood, in North Portland. Quick kind of greatest hits is that it'll replace the aging traffic signal there, which has a lot of safety issues and operation issues. It's barely hanging on. We'll be able to extend the bike lanes that were recently put on Lombard to Denver Avenue, which is a really important north-south route for folks biking. And then we are working with BES and ODOT to, right now there's a big slip lane where cars can take the corner really fast, and we've had a lot of pedestrian crashes at this intersection. So we'll be actually closing that slip lane and depaving it to add space for trees and other bioswales and other ecological street features in a little public plaza there. So really excited about this opportunity. I can share more details with the board and with the neighborhood at large, but just wanted to get these things on your radar, even though they're not technically NOPIM, North Portland motion related. Just while I'm here, am serving as the messenger. If you're on our mailing list for North Portland in Motion, we released a big update last month. We released our Tier 1 priority projects for the peninsula. That included 17 Tier 1 projects, 7 neighborhood greenways, 10 corridor improvements, and a number of public plaza opportunities that we see really as important to invest in to kind of bring people together and help enhance the public realm and enhance our commercial districts and public spaces. Taking together these different types of projects really help support and advance the goals that we've been working towards with this plan, which is to improve access for people walking and biking to important neighborhood destinations, to improve safety, reduce speeding and other unsafe driving behavior in our communities, and identify a clear course of investment that's community supported in North Portland, so that PBOT knows what we should be working on and what we should be going after grants for. I won't have time to go through all 17, obviously today, but you can visit our project website, North Portland in Motion, and you'll see a tile that says priority project recommendations. And right there you can go and look, and there's a huge list and maps and diagrams and everything. All this information will be a huge part of our open house that we're working on right now that we're going to launch at either the end of this month or after 4th of July. But yeah, there's multiple Tier 1 projects in St. John, so I want to highlight a couple of them for you. I'll start with neighborhood greenways. Neighborhood greenways are low traffic streets where we use speed bumps and other traffic calming tools to slow down vehicles and reduce the amount of cars on those local streets, so that they're really comfortable spaces for people to walk and ride their bike and to kind of stroll and hang out and connect with one another. St. John's has one neighborhood greenway today on North Central, and in the plan that we've developed, we'll be adding a number of new neighborhood greenways to connect all the schools and parks and public spaces in St. John's, and really kind of help treat the neighborhood as a whole, so that it's such a great neighborhood for walking, because it only takes about 20-30 minutes to walk across the whole thing. And so it's nice to have those clear routes with good crossings and nice, calm, quiet, safe environments. So there's 3 greenways that we're looking at in St. John's, one on Willamette Boulevard that extends from the federally funded project on Willamette up underneath the St. John's Bridge up to Reno along Willamette Boulevard, and then cuts over to connect to Sitten Elementary and Fair Park. A bundle of projects that we're calling the Upper St. John's Neighborhood Greenway Network, which are a collection of greenways that really kind of serve as the foundation of our Safe Routes to School network in St. John's. This is Charleston Avenue, Burr Avenue, and a collection of streets that I've affectionately named the Outer Rim, because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, that connect along Bank and Bristol and Swenson, that connect folks between Sitten Elementary and George Middle School. And then a north-south greenway on Burr or Buchanan Avenue. We're still working out the details. We'd love for community to weigh in on a preferred route that connects up from Willamette through the St. John's commercial district there on Lombard, and then Roosevelt High School, George Park, and ends at George Middle School. Taken together, kind of ask, what are these greenways? What will they accomplish for the neighborhood? They create a complete network of greenways, providing access to schools, parks, community centers. We really tried to design the network to be very place focused, realizing that we want to connect users that really like greenways, like people with kids and older folks, or folks who are less experienced cyclists who find that environment that's calm and quiet really comfortable to ride on, to places that they need to go, whether they need to go to Safeway or school or community center. Over the whole peninsula, this network adds 11 miles of greenways, which doubles the network, provides access to every neighborhood. Cathedral Park has no greenways. University Park currently has no greenways. There's just there's huge gaps in the network in North Portland. And so we wanted to treat the peninsula as a whole and make sure we're providing access to all the neighborhoods. And then if you look here in our priority, you'll notice that a lot of the greenways that we're recommending are in the kind of upper peninsula, Portsmouth to St. John's, Cathedral Park. We wanted to prioritize our work in higher equity areas in North Portland areas where folks are living on less income or there's a higher share of people of color, so that the good network that we have down in Arbor Lodge and Overlook matches the same quality or better for our neighbors to the north. So yeah, Upper St. John's, real quick, we'll just walk through this. We've been doing some engagement with Jamestown Elementary. There's some pictures earlier of walking bike to school. We had Commissioner Maps come out and some PBOT regulars and joined in on the fun. It was so much fun. It was so exciting to connect with kids and parents and just witness all the energy around walking and biking to school in the neighborhood. So Charleston Avenue will be one of our first projects. We're looking to get that started this fall with some traffic calming and some crossing improvements and speed bumps to lower speeds. And then we're working with the elementary and their PTA to fund a street mural in front of the school and potentially work with them to figure out like a really good, safe pickup and drop off schedule and plan for the school so that when kids are riding and walking into school, there's less conflicts with cars and it's just a safer, more calm environment. Another greenway is Burr and Buchanan. This will be a north-south one, as I mentioned, connecting from funded protected bike lanes on Willamette Boulevard, kind of up through the peninsula and kind of connecting to all the north by northwest routes, I suppose. We've been working really closely with ODOT on getting a crossing improvement improved at Burr and Lombard, and they have a new coordinator for the Portland region that's really awesome and really excited to invest in active transportation and safety and pedestrian safety, and they are on board with a better crossing at Burr. So really excited. There's so much activity with the food carts right now too, especially in the summertime. Let's make that crossing really safe and then help serve that greenway and all the high school kids getting down to Lombard and all that. And then last is the Willamette Boulevard Greenway, which extends kind of where the protected bike lanes drop off and connects all the way up, you know, to Pier Park and eventually up to Kelly Point Park as part of the North Portland Greenway, and really kind of extending the recreational and access to nature element of the Greenway network. Right now we're working on, as many of you know, if you live down there, if you're down there during rush hour around the St. John's Bridge, it's totally packed with cars. Today, it's not a very comfortable environment for people walking or biking on that street. So one of the things that we'll need to do if we're going to realize this goal of building a good walking and biking connection on Willamette Boulevard all the way up to Pier Park is we'll need to reduce the number of cars, mostly focused on that. Let's cut through commuter traffic, vehicles coming in off the St. John's Bridge and then kind of using St. John's as a pass through to get up to I-5. And so there's a number of strategies there. We're working with our engineers to understand what works, what doesn't. We want to come out to you guys in St. John, since you know the area best, with a couple different options and figure out what we want to try and how we want to monitor success. But one of the areas that we're looking at right away would be along the frontage roads of the St. John's Bridge on Philadelphia. It's where we see a lot of our cut through car traffic coming and like kind of looping under the bridge and going down that narrow one-lane street. So that we have some ideas there about reversing the flow of that, so that folks stay on preferably Willamette and Ivanhoe and all that, but at least stay off the frontage roads, which we think would help reduce the number of cars on Willamette Boulevard. But yeah, more details to come on that. That'll be kind of a key part of our online open house that we share later this month and into July. And then I'll share just a couple of quarter improvements, and then I'm just looking at my time. I only have 5 minutes. So hard. We have 5 projects out of our 10 quarter improvement projects focused in St. John's. These are our busier streets, our neighborhood streets where they are kind of our neighborhood collector streets where there's more cars, where there's bike lanes, where there's maybe transit or emergency vehicle access needs. These are streets that aren't good candidates for greenways, but definitely could be designed to be safer and more comfortable for people to walk and bike. We've got a project on Smith Avenue focused on traffic calming, additional traffic calming. We've heard, especially after Fessenden went in, that speeds are high, and we want to make sure that we've recently installed speed bumps. We want to make sure that the speeds stay low. There's a couple crossings there that we'd also like to build. We have some improvements to Cathedral Park. All right, I'll just go through these really quick. Macrom Avenue connection between Fessenden and the neighborhood north of Columbia Boulevard. Macrom is 64 feet wide. It's almost 8 feet wider than 82nd Avenue. It's one of the widest streets in North Portland. It only carries a couple thousand cars a day. It was a legacy street from before the on-ramps onto Columbia Way. And so there's a really good opportunity here to add back on-street parking, add new really high quality bike lanes, and add some curb extensions and some street trees, and help make that street feel a lot more comfortable while still kind of filling the need it serves in the transportation system. We got a project on Fessenden Avenue that we're really excited about. This project will improve the bike lanes, add protection over the railroad cut, and kind of help link Portsmouth and St. John's neighborhood better, and add a number of crossings. We're also looking at depaving portions of that big wide intersection at Wall and Fessenden to add more green space, add more space for trees and bioswales, and make crossing the street a lot less unsafe than it is today. Going up and down the hill to Cathedral Park, we've heard is just a huge challenge for people walking and biking. And so we have a couple bike and ped projects on Baltimore and Richmond. Richmond's so wide, we can just stripe in bike lanes that would be really comfortable to use. And Baltimore varies quite a bit, so it kind of varies block to block. We'll be sharing a design idea for that street in our summer open house. And then I'm sure you all know about Willamette Boulevard. I've shared it a couple times, but we have a major kind of long federal project on Willamette Boulevard that goes all the way from Richmond all the way up to MLK, and kind of upgrades the bike facilities and transit islands and crossings and speed bumps, and really just helps make that whole street much more friendly for people walking, biking, and using transit. But we're able to deliver a little bit of it, the St. John section early, since we're able just to kind of stripe some stuff in using lower cost materials and then come back and upgrade it later with the federal project. So this could be on the ground. While the federal project won't be delivered until 2025, 2026, we think we can get this one on the ground as soon as next summer. So that's the quick rundown of what's going on with North Portland Motion. Sorry, I thought I had 30 minutes, so I think I maybe overdid my presentation just slightly. But yeah, what's coming up next? Project design concepts and our programs, online open house later this summer, early July. We'll do a big press release. We'll send out a postcard. We'll be on all the social media, kind of sharing information about that as soon as we're ready to launch it. Later in the summer, kind of right after that open house, we'll put out our draft plan. It'll kind of summarize how we got to where we got to and kind of our initial takeaways from that open house, kind of crystallize into some project recommendations. We're also looking to take advantage of some of this great weather and do some group bike rides. And then late summer, maybe early September, late August, would be council adoption and first wave of implementation. So we'll start seeing projects on the ground, hopefully later this year. So really excited about all the things coming up. So I will stop there, maybe take a couple quick questions.
Cool. Yeah, I think we had one in the chat here, or a couple, and then we'll open it up to the room here. Looks like a question: what's the difference between tier 1 and tier 2?
Yeah, so okay, that's an easy one. So tier 1 and tier 2 projects, basically what we tried to do, we came up on our first cut of taking all the needs that we heard from community and all the ideas, and came up with like 35 projects. And we wanted to put them all out there, just be transparent and be like, we're not gonna be able to build all these, but we want to see what resonates with people, what people connect with, and then elevate those tier 1 projects. So we did, that level of analysis, some analysis around equity and safety, around project feasibility and cost. But then we also looked at where's community really lining up behind projects, and where can we help deliver those? So the tier 2 projects will still be in our TSP, our transportation system plan, be eligible for grant funding, and we'll build them opportunistically. But in the near term, like the next 3 to 5 years, we're really going to focus on securing funding and getting those tier 1 projects on ground first. What else we have here? Working on Columbia Bridges, Columbia Way, and the Cut. I see a question from Donna.
That's Donna. Yeah. But then, will Charleston become one way? That's what I heard. That's from Donna Cohen.
Right now in our concept, we don't have Charleston as a one-way street. We think we want to try adding traffic calming and additional crossings and signage, and do some monitoring to figure out if it meets our guidelines, if it's living up to the goals we have for it as a safe routes to school, primary investment route, as a neighborhood greenway. If we do change the traffic pattern, and we would do a subsequent kind of public engagement process. There's a lot of different ways to do it. You can do one way. You could use a diverter, like we have at Tyler and Central. You could add a median island across the center of a busier street. So lots of different options there, but not currently a plan for us to do that.
Cool. I think looks like Tanya has her hand up, and then I think we'll take a couple from the room.
Yeah, just a quick question regarding closing Philadelphia. If you make that, Willamette that Greenway, of course, we have a lot of issues there with that stop sign, but I'm just curious about, have you guys do you know the percentage of how that would affect the businesses with a lot of businesses being on Lombard, and if Philadelphia is closed, how is that going to direct the traffic flow to the businesses? My biggest concern.
Good question, Tanya. So when the Philadelphia section of Philadelphia that I'm thinking about for Willamette Boulevard is actually right adjacent to the bridge. So it's not the section of Philadelphia that goes adjacent to the plaza between Ivanhoe and Lombard. It's the part of Philadelphia right up against the bridge, against the wall, basically right there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, gotcha. Thank you.
Yep.
Paul, you have Paul's question here?
Hi. So, Mike, first of all, just thanks so much for the long consultative process. And I do feel like we were heard, so that's really good. And I just want more. And I'm wondering, is Central done? I mean, is that what we're calling a greenway? Because actually there's one traffic calming device at where the market is, but otherwise it's just a lot of asphalt, frankly. So, I mean, is that a greenway? What does greenway mean?
Yeah, that's a good, so Central is a greenway. Yeah, that's considered a greenway, right? But I definitely can empathize and understand. I think I catch your drift around the amount of asphalt and pavement compared to greenery on the street, right? So I'm sure, I don't know if you guys have been tracking this, but we did release recently our pedestrian design guide update, which has a whole new policy for us to expand the furnishing zone, the tree zone of the sidewalk area into the street. And that allows us to get much bigger trees, add in greenery and all these things. So that is one of the program recommendations that we have in North Portland in Motion, is actually to go back through our greenway system and look for opportunities to do that, right? To add more tree and more tree canopy. I know for me, especially on these hot summer days, that riding my bike on a street with a good tree canopy cover is almost as important as a good crossing. I mean, it's a whole different experience. So I know, Paul, that's been a big priority for St. John's, is looking to ways to depave and increase the ecological features. And so that's something that we're going to have be a standard part of how we design our greenways.
Very good. And you did use the word depaving in your presentation, so that made me happy too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Cool.
For sure.
Yeah, one more question.
I'm just so concerned because this sounds all wonderful, but you can do all the bumps, all the this that you want. People are not respecting anything. And so we live across from the school, and every day I almost see some kids almost being hit. People are speeding even with the speed bump. I mean, we hear the things go clunk, clunk, because they're speeding on that bump. And how do you educate parents who pick up their kids and leave their engine on for half an hour while they're waiting.
I don't know, Mike, if you could hear all that, but I think it was just more of the kind of compliance piece with putting all the stuff in and just making sure, you know, that people are following the new direction and laws.
But the other day, somebody removed, you know, those big cement yellow things that you put to slow the traffic?
Uh-huh.
Somebody pushed it like I don't know how many meters further, totally out of its place.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
I think I heard most of it. If I just want to repeat back, concerns about, you know, we can build things to slow down cars and make people drive safer, but people aren't following the rules and there's not really enforcement. And is that the gist of the question?
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, no, it's a real struggle for us. You know, coming at this from infrastructure only perspective is not going to get us where we need to get to, right? But at the same time, there's a huge gap in what the world looks like today and what our streets look like today and what they need to look like to be safe and comfortable for people to get around and get around safely. So I understand, and I struggle with the same question that you're sharing. So I want to emphasize, like, I see the bigger picture. I also see that there's a lot of work we need to do from the infrastructure side to invest in our streets. And we are doing a lot in Portland and North Portland specifically around education and activation, around our safe routes to school, around Vision Zero. Enforcement is challenging. It's been a challenge since we don't do traffic enforcement. We have recently had the approval to install more red light cameras and speeding cameras in Portland. And that's been exciting, honestly, for some of our areas of the city where we've seen persistent reckless driving, and you know, there's not any enforcement on those streets, and we don't know what else we can do. And so those are new tools that we have, but it does require a culture shift. And I think when we are showing up and putting lawn signs out that say slow down and investing in streets and creating the environment where people see that people care about safety and care about you know, the quality of life in their neighborhood, that can make a big difference as well. But yeah, no, I hear you. It's half the puzzle. It's the software to the hardware, right? You need the whole picture. So I hear you.
Yeah. Any more questions from the room? Anybody? I think there was one more in the chat here. It says, what is the status of North Portland Greenway Trail from Cathedral Park to Pier Park?
Yeah. So myself and another planner at PBOT worked with Parks about 2 years ago to apply for a Metro Trails grant to secure funding for sections of the North Portland Greenway Trail. And we won that grant. So that'll add a new bridge over Columbia Boulevard near Chimney Park, connecting up through the St. John's Prairie, aka former landfill, up there to Kelly Point, and then also pay for a section of the Greenway Trail in the Baltimore Woods area of the alignment. So that's kind of north of Baltimore, up between Baltimore and Reno. So it kind of gets you to Cathedral Park. There'll be some sections where we'll have folks use either Edison or Willamette, depending on how the Greenway, our neighborhood Greenway project kind of works and all that. And one of the things that we'll be doing in North Portland in Motion is a bit of a refresher for community at large around the North Portland Greenway, just kind of re-elevating that as an important thing for PBOT and Parks and Metro, who's a major stakeholder now that they own the Willamette Cove property down at near the railroad cut there, and try to get as much of that built, you know, as fast as possible. It's a very challenging project, but we think we have the north section that you have there in striking distance.
Cool.
Cool.
That's great. Well, thank you so much as always, Mike, and we'll be in touch for your next the community piece as far as when those are happening, the open houses, and definitely, yeah, we'll stay in touch and I'll include in the newsletter and let everybody know what's happening. So yeah, I really appreciate your partnership. I think it's really, really pleasing and exciting to see all the work being done.
Yeah, we like I said at the beginning, just lots of love for St. John's. So I'll I'll end now, but feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my contact info in the chat if anyone wants to connect about other issues or other questions.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Alrighty. Cool. Well, we're just slightly over time. I did have just one piece too, if anybody wanted, but for those that were here last month, we started this new piece, the Community Corner, where people, any of you all have the opportunity to kind of bring in anything to the table that you would either like to, have us take a look at or try and connect with city resources. So I'd say maybe we can give it a couple minutes for that, and then we do have a vote coming up though, which just to keep things on track. But yeah, Community Corner is just anything of concern. Like I think that is very valid about some of the challenges with speeding, unfortunately, within the neighborhood. But just this is really an opportunity for you all to make your voices heard. If there's any. Bernadine?
I just wanted to say that St. John's should be proud because Jim and Nancy Kavanaugh live here on North Richmond. They entered roses into the Portland Rose Society Rose Show at Lloyd Center, and they took the top one queen of the show.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Plus 7 others.
Wow, very cool.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. Making St. John's proud. Yeah, if you didn't hear on the call, we have some Rose Award winners up in the neighborhood. That's so awesome. Yeah, Richmond and where? Smith and Richmond.
If you drive by there and you see umbrellas on top of roses.
Oh, I do, yeah.
Trying to protect them from the sun before the show.
I have seen that, yeah. Very cool. Smith and Richmond. All right, everybody go take a look. Yes. I can reiterate, to the.
My name's Kaylin. I live on Charleston between Smith and Central, and I've had a conversation with Mike Sartell already, but see frequently cut through traffic approaching 70 miles an hour out of the intersection. And that's eyeballing. I mean, I don't have a radar gun. So Mike knows that our last traffic volume study was during the pandemic and doesn't account for the additional rate and volume of traffic since that time. So we're really hopeful that at that section, in addition to traffic calming, that we might explore some traffic.
Yeah, and what was the intersection again?
I am just this way on Charleston up in Smith. So folks come down Charleston from usually cutting from I-5 to Beaverton. Right. I'm guessing. But in the mornings, it starts at about 6:30 and goes until 8, and in the afternoons, it reverses direction.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and for those online, we'll continue to work with Mike and PBOT and team, and I think that's what's so great about North Portland in Motion is kind of working through some of those opportunities. But no, totally hear you on that. But.
Is there a decibel limit in Portland?
I don't believe so. I don't know if it looks like Mike maybe dropped, but the question was if there's a decibel limit. I don't believe there is.
I believe there is, and the DEQ stopped testing.
DEQ, oh, right, because.
In inspecting cars.
Yeah.
I'd like to know why they stopped testing.
But there's no decibel readers like a camera.
We should be able to have that.
In France, check speed and noise.
Yeah. But I think too, if people have loud cars, I mean, are they even going to the DEQ? I mean, it could be argued, but. Anything else? Or if anybody online, if you have, let's see here. Oh, there are a few things here. Mike up, thanks, see you soon. Raise your hand. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, we'll keep things rolling then, I think, along into some board updates. So I'll kick it over to RJ if you'd like to come on over for vice chair updates.
Oh, sure. I'm gonna set the land speed record for this one, folks.
All
right. I'm guilty of getting married in less than a month, so
Congratulations.
that's my update.
That is the update. That is the update.
Wedding announcement.
It's just
Because you're
so
already married.
yeah, no.
Guilty, I didn't know that.
It's guilty of my time has been taken up by other things. So we had the cleanup, the dumpster day at Roosevelt High School on Earth Day. I updated last time, but for anybody that wasn't on previously, we collected about 8.5 tons of waste and recycling that day. There was also hundreds of pounds of batteries and light bulbs collected by the Metro Hazardous Waste team. I don't know, we didn't get an exact measurement, so I'm going to hyperbolically say a ton of paint was gotten rid of because there was a lot of paint disposed. We ran out of space to take more paint. And so that was very successful. Thanks to generosity from places like Fred Meyer giving us a gift card to get food and drink for the volunteers. Recology, cut us a deal on the haul fees for the waste. Also donated some free mulch that people were able to take away. We had a lot of people taking mulch away. And so through partnerships such as that, the cost came in lower than expected when we applied for the grant and the grant that we won to fund it. And so there is funds left over from that grant, and we've been given the okay to hold on to those funds to use for a future cleanup. So we will be able to have a similar event in the future and have this grant apply to that. And so, yeah, very, very thankful for that and excited to have one happen again in the future, whether that is late in this fall or in the spring again. Those plans will be determined. So more to come there, but yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know, I got nothing. Anybody have any questions or? Great, awesome. What was the time on that? Did you start the timer?
All right, well, now we do have a treasurer, so we will be going to share my screen to pull up. We're going to review the treasurer's report, and then we're actually going to be calling a quick vote on budget for next year. Do we want to start on the report then, or do you have a preference which one you want to start with?
The general.
Yeah.
Our monthly treasurer's report.
Yep. There you go. Hopefully, there we go. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do the monthly treasurer's report and stuff. This is from May 7th of 2023 to June 11th, 2023. Our beginning balance was $14,228.78. You'll see in the parentheses that includes $65.65 from the George Middle School check that we did from the Day of the Child grant that they haven't cashed. So I'm going to the school in the morning to see what's happened and stuff. Last month's ending balance shows $65.65 less. So this one, though, is showing the more because the bank is showing that money is still sitting in the account. Okay, as you can see, we had income. This is when they were testing the system for Square. So there's a 1 cent charge. And then we had the next day a Square 87-cent donation to really try this. We were using and starting Square up for the St. John's Bazaar. Okay, We then, for St. John's Bazaar, we sold T-shirts that they had come across. I think there was about 8 of them. And they were from probably about 2018 or so, and they were child sizes, small, medium, and large. And as you can see, it shows that via the square, we got $67.68. That's after Square's fee that they take, and we never see it. And then we had one T-shirt that was sold via cash. So we had total income of $78.56. Now, expenses. As RJ talked about, Recology, $1,389.40. And those funds were taken from the cleanup grant that we had got. Then you also see where Square on that day, there was an expense of 10 cents, of 1 cent, excuse me. That was because we added a penny and then they took it out. That's just opening up the system. Then the corporation division check, that's an annual thing that we need to pay with the Secretary of State's office. It's an annual filing fee, and that's based on your income, and our fee is $50. And then June's MailChimp expenses was June 5th, $39.50. That's the monthly email service. Our total expenses, $1,478.91. Balance as of yesterday, $12,828.53. The Metro grant has $3,085.60 left in it. Safer Together grant has $7,708.93. And then we have also restricted in the Day of the Child, this is covering for the George Middle School check, the $65.65. Unrestricted funds, $1,968.35. And stuff. That's for the general account. Any questions? I'm not seeing anything. Okay, the next is the art fund. Same dates, May 7th through June 11th. We had beginning balance $100.04. Our ending balance is $100.04. Now, bottle drop. Same dates, May 7th through June 11th. Our balance beginning is $445.54. We had various bags dropped off, $64.30 worth, very good. So our ending balance is $509.84. Any questions?
Yeah, where do you drop off the bags?
Huh?
Where do you drop the bags off?
You can drop them off at the bottle drop center in Delta Park. If you don't want to, go to Safeways. As you're looking at Safeways, right-hand side of the building, if you hold the bag up with the UPC code on it, QR code and stuff, it should open the door. I will let you know, sometimes they don't open and you have to go in and say, it's not opening up. And you just put it through. And then Bottle Drop Company comes and picks it up and counts it, and it automatically goes to us.
Yeah, we have some more bags if anyone would like any.
Yeah, I've got bags here.
Very cool.
Any other questions? I'm not seeing anything.
Anything online?
Okay.
Yeah, great. And I think the next thing we were going to do is our budget, so I can
Yes.
pull that up and close this. And so, just for those, just for reference, we do, well, I can kick it over to Bernadine here, but we're gonna just go through this budget quickly, and then we'll call a vote on on for next year's
Yeah.
fiscal year?
Our fiscal year is July 1st through June 30th. This is the month in June when we need to present a proposed budget and get it approved so we can pay things next fiscal year. So the proposed budget, if you have, there are copies over there if you didn't get one. Excuse me. July 1st through 2023 through June 30th of 2024. Our beginning balance unrestricted, this is an estimation and we're fairly close, is $2,000. The Metro grant and the Safer Together grant restricted, those are the $3,085.60 restricted. Excuse me, RJ, can you hand me my water? Safer Together grant, beginning balance, $7,708.83. Oh, income, we're hoping for $450 from Bottle Drop. We're hoping for $500 in donations, and fundraisers, $300. Total income, $1,250. Expenses, bank fees, $70. Copying, printing, $250. Facility rentals, $350. Hospitality, $300. Insurance, $250. Office supplies, $75. Oregon state fees, $70. Postage, $25. Publicity, $300. St. John's Bazaar, $250. St. John's Parade, $250. Web services, $700. Expenses, $2,890. Ending balance, $360 unrestricted. And $10,794.53 restricted. Are there any questions about any of those? This is from the general account.
And these are estimates as well, so, you know, we'll plan, and in an ideal world, we're not spending all the money, right? Because we don't have a lot. So.
And we're underestimating a bit on income as well to be safe, to make sure that we're not assuming we're gonna make a ton of money.
Okay, so then I'll go on to the art fund. Beginning balance, $100.04. And ending balance, 104 cents. Basically, because we don't know of anything that these funds for art in the neighborhood would be used for at the moment. So there's no specific plans. We've had no requests or anything, so we're keeping that as it's going.
I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but Matthew Gimbel is one piece that he is interested in focusing on his community art. So see if we can spend that 100 and or more.
It's got quite the budget to work with.
Yeah. Now our bottle drop account for the proposed budget is bags dropped. We're hoping $450 worth, and donations 25. For a total of 475. And let me just say, in regards to donations, people that have a green bag account, their own, can go up online into their own account and they can donate to us right straight from their own account. And we've had a few people do that. So that's where some of our money comes from. Expenses. Bags cost us for a roll of 10, $2 each. We're expecting planning on $40 to buy bags. And then we're planning on transferring to the general checking account $450. That's expenses of $490, leaving us a balance of $35. Any questions about any of the line items out of the 3 accounts?
I was just curious on the bag drop. Is there a yearly fee?
No,
There's
there was an initial fee when we pulled the first amount out, that was $25. That was the account setup and the first draw. Now there's nothing.
Great. Fantastic.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, any other questions from anybody or any online, RJ?
There's nothing in the chat.
Cool. Well, then I think what we'll do then.
I'll let you come back in and
Perfect, thank you.
call for a motion.
I will.
Thank you, Bernie.
Just quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's great. And yeah, thank you, Bernadine. And just a couple things I just definitely wanted to just highlight just to make hopefully everybody feel a little bit better. But Bazaar and Parade, we really wanted to make sure, a lot of us on the board weren't necessarily sure if some of these events were going to happen this year, right? It was a lot going on last fiscal. So, but we wanted to make sure that we're equally sponsoring both with an equal amount. So that was one thing that was really important for us. And then also with the facility rentals, that might be potentially what we're tapping into for those 2-month gaps while we're not able to be in this space. So just providing a little context, we have thought of a lot of those things. And getting forward in front of next Bazaar, we'll kind of maybe there'll be some other opportunities for us to sell some things to fundraise from there, but we'll kind of get there when we get there. But anyway, so at this point we are going to call a vote, and just a reminder for voting members would consist of our general members that are on the call here, and so that's anyone who lives, rent, own, however living arrangements within the boundaries of St. John's, and or owns a business in St. John's. And technically, I believe as well, Cathedral Park residents are able to vote as well.
You can be a member of SJNA and live in Cathedral Park.
Correct, yeah. So, and it's just honor system, right? We'll kind of go through it there, but do I have a motion from the board to approve the fiscal budget for next year?
I move that we approve the budget as presented.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Paul. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Austin seconds there. And so then with those stipulations, what I'm going to do is stop sharing here just so I can count easier. For those that are voting members, if you approve, go ahead and raise your hand, please. I can't.
Unless it was a break.
1, 2, 3.
And then in online, 1, 2, 3, 4,
6 hands up and 2 thumbs up. It's 8.
I counted 9. I think one went away. So we have 9 plus, that's 20 total. And we have,
In total, we had minus guests. We had at our peak, we had 26. 29 people on the call.
29 total that were eligible to vote. So we're 20 out of 29 total. That's simple majority. Great. I think that's all we need then. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for working through that. That's great. So I left my piece of paper over here, but I believe the next update is from Safety and Livability, our friend Austin. There he is. Yeah, well, if you want to provide some updates, that'd be
great. Yeah, that'd be great. Let me go ahead and share my screen here, because I just think everything's better visually. So hi everyone. Sorry I couldn't be there tonight. I'm out of town, so that's why I'm coming in virtually here. I'd like to give you some quick updates from the Northeast PSAC meeting, which I attend every month, and a lot of the other neighborhood associations have a representative. And we meet and talk about the safety in the community, and we have some usually a representative from the Portland Police Bureau and North Precinct. And then also I'll recap a little bit about the PMO problem solver meetings that I attend every other week, where some city representatives give us updates and we can bring issues to them. Okay. All right, so we got to meet our new North Precinct Commander, Rob Simon. He's the third North Precinct Commander in the last year, so we've kind of transitioned a few times. But some information about him: he served 22 years in the Portland Police Bureau, and just quickly, he just believes that the primary goal of the North Precinct currently is to put out fires and kind of take care of imminent issues. And the reason that is because there's staffing at an all-time low. So there's not, it's kind of going call to call, as some of you may know who have been coming to our meetings every month. You kind of know what I'm going to say before I say it. But there's low staffing, and some new piece of information I learned was that some officers are averaging 70 hours a week with overtime. And even more so because there's some officers are being transferred over to the reinstated traffic division. Hopefully that'll help combat some of the record number of fatalities we've been having, and maybe, speak to some of the concerns we were mentioning earlier about just unsafe driving. So I'm hopeful for that personally. And the Portland Police Bureau is keeping new hires employed until they can attend training, and which they have to attend in Salem. So there's kind of a wait list there. Okay, and a little update about the Peninsula Crossing Trail. The Safe Rest Village is now open with 60 pods. There's 67 residents currently, and the trail, I believe, is closed this week as well. They've been working on cleaning the trail, and due to the fact that some people are no longer there, they've kind of displaced to neighboring areas surrounding there. So you may notice some increase in I guess I would say retail theft or drugs or what have you. And that's something the police are aware of. And that was kind of brought up as something they're aware of. And that's kind of been the result of people being kind of pushed out of that area where they were all congregating. And then from the PMO problem solvers meeting, just some updates from the city I can share with you. The city's looking for litter cleanup and solve sites. So RJ, if you have any sites that you've heard of, feel free to reach out to me, or if any of you all have places you're like, man, I wish they would just clean up the trash around here, let us know and we can pass that along to them, because they are looking for areas to deploy resources. And the city is replacing plants that were stolen from our plaza, which is unfortunate, but also nice that they're doing. And the city would like us to communicate with law enforcement before we have large events, so that they can have increased presence before events, which can kind of serve as a deterrent. And another update from the police, or about kind of what the police have been doing, is increasing the number of citations issued for drug possession, which is a fine. It's a fine that can range from $45 to $100. And they're also actively looking for areas to run missions to address drug dealing. So those are some of the updates I have for you based off of some of the meetings I've attended. If you have some questions, feel free to share them with me.
Any questions in the room, or I don't know if we have any online.
Looks like RJ was just mentioning that there might be some areas for cleanup around Columbia Way. So I'll go ahead and I'll copy that, RJ, and I'll let them know that that might be an area.
Yeah, and I don't want to speak for you, Austin, but I feel like one of the other calls is to just for folks to use that PDX Reporter app if there are any concerns. I think that's just something we keep hearing is, yeah, it's a pdxreporter.org or com. I don't.
It's org, yeah.
Yeah, pdxreporter.org. It's basically a website you can do on your phone or your computer to, yeah, make a report for abandoned auto vehicles or traffic light damage or anything. Just anything connecting to city resources.
Yeah, I made 2 reports on potholes on Reno because they were just awful. And sure enough, all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, we had the roads closed down and they were repairing them. So things actually happen when you make reports. So that's good to see change.
I can.
Maps committed to have all potholes fixed within 30 days of work. About 2 or 3 months ago, when I tested it, right when it happened.
Wow.
So yeah, you've got potholes, PDX Reporter.
Okay. So yeah, in the room they're saying a 30-day SLA for how quickly they're going to fill potholes. So that's great. Yeah, I've seen similar success as well with PDX Reporter that actually it doesn't just go into some holding pattern or whatever, to some abyss. So great. All right. Thanks, Austin. Appreciate it. Well, we'll get back to some additional updates here from the board and then hopefully get everybody out of here. Let's see here. Okay, I had Juan up here, but I think he maybe bounced. So we have our friend Paul, Safer Together. Come on up.
Great, thank you. I think I know Juan can't be here because he's got a problem with an issue with his business. Hi, everybody. So Safer Together let me just give you an update on where we are. 40 people have signed up to host block parties, and of that 40, 20 are scheduled with dates, and we've met with the people and everything, but there's still 20 to do. And a lot of that has just been kind of overworked and trying to get organized, but I'm going to contact every one of those 20, and within a week, half of them will have dates. So, but we're getting everybody scheduled. But there's still lots of possibilities. We said we would host 30 block parties. It just made that number up, and the demand is stronger. So if you'd like to do that, go to the website, just leave your name. And I mean, we did 2 on one day a couple of weeks ago. And it was fine. It was great. And actually, one of the hosts from that was just like 9 days ago. Austin was one of the hosts, and I asked Austin if he would say something about it. I don't know what you're going to say, Austin, but could you say something about hosting a block party?
Sure. Long time no see. My partner and I, we hosted a block party on our block, and we invited like a 3-block radius around us. And I could go into a huge talk about what we did to organize it all, but just as far as like the results, I think something that I really found positive was like, so like there's a house, there's always that house like at the end of the block. It's like, okay, I don't want to go down there, or I don't know who they are. And like now I know who they are, and they love my music playlist, and like I can't wait to see them again. So it really can change your perception of your neighbors and like for the better, and connect everyone. And like everyone was super excited to be there, and like the kids had a blast with the bouncy house. So it was exactly the kind of vibe I was hoping to get from the kind of like parade day vibe where
very cool.
There's like, so that's what I should.
Thank you. My wife, after we did the one on our street, my wife said just spontaneously, it feels different on the street. And it actually does feel different on the street. So do a block party. Just do a block party. So some other news. So Patrick, and I really want to thank Patrick, and he had to persist with me because I was dragging my feet on this, but we've got a map with the dates and everything of where the different block parties are scheduled. And we'll be we'll be sticking more pins in that map. Is that on the website, Patrick, or how exactly do you get to?
It's included on the newsletter.
I know that, yeah.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
would say the newsletter is a great opportunity. And I do have it, well, yeah.
We'll get it up on the,
We'll get it on the site.
we'll get it on the site too. And this is opt-out. I mean, if you don't want to be listed, let us know. We won't list you, but I'll make that very clear to people when they sign up, But I think, the only people that will know about them are the people that come to our site or that get our newsletter, and they're all friends, I think. So I think it's nice. And we're sort of inviting people, if they're interested in doing a newsletter, doing a block party, and they live nearby, to drop in. I don't think there'll be a lot of people doing that, but they might. So that's great, and thank you very much, Patrick, for being persistent on that. We have a host manual for the host. There've been lots of tweaks to it. All the tweaks come from y'all. I did the first draft, but we've changed it, and it's all good ideas that have come from people that are hosting. So thanks very much. And so the bigger news, though, one is that we have asked PBEM, our donor, for a fairly major budget revision, because we're underspending in procurement. We were thinking we'd buy this and that. We don't need to buy a lot of stuff. And we thought we were going to hire a couple of people, and we had trouble finding people at the prices at the salaries we projected. And so we had some money, and we said, well, let's use this for what we're calling participant support. And I think we might give a little financial encouragement to the hosts, not to pay them to put on a block party, but so they can buy special things to make the parties really special. Because just whatever that would be. We might give them, for instance, like a Fred Meyer gift certificate, something like that. We haven't had this budget change approved yet, so that's not a promise. But it will also allow us to do, because we have, the other kind of big change, I think, is having institutional partners that we work with. We have 3 partners coming up. One is the boosters. And now, Tanya, are you going to be talking about the booster party?
I am.
Okay, I will just mention it then. But
All right.
Okay, but I will show this. Okay, there you saw it. And this, so that's coming up this weekend. And Tanya, is that okay if we just let me just turn this over to Tanya. Go ahead, take it.
Well, the Boosters is hosting on Saturday from 12 to 4. And we are going to actually, you guys are paying for having 2, not 1, but 2 bands. Hawkins Wright at 12:30 and Jeremy Fama at 2:30. So, and then there's going to be sandwich boards with all the restaurants' menus on them for people to, order from. And we're going to have chalk art and hula hooping and just all sorts of fun stuff. So come on out. It's going to be a lot of fun, and bring your dancing shoes. I'll dance with anybody that asks.
Oh, okay. So, and there's some really nice flyers we have here. And Rebecca made these, didn't she, Austin? Yeah. So thanks, Rebecca, Austin's partner, for making these nice flyers. And I have a little stack of them here in this room. So if anybody can put one up somewhere, put up a couple. If you're really going to put them up, let me know, and I'll just give them to you. I'd be happy to do that. Because I'd love to let's have a lot of people come to this. Got 2 other institutional events coming up. I'm just going to mention the week after that, we're having an event that we're doing with St. John's Church at the Pier Park Apartments. The week after that, we're doing one at Sitton School. Come to the plaza, wait for more information on the Pier Park Apartments. But if you live in that part of St. John's, that'll be totally love to have you come. And don't come to the one at Sitton School unless you're part of the Sitton School community, because that's not an appropriate one to just sort of pop in. But I'm excited about the institutional ones, because institutions reach a lot of people, and that's what we want to do, is reach a lot of people. I'm also, though, excited about the small street ones, because that's where neighbors get to know the people right on their street. So they're both good, but I want to do more of each. That's it. Just want to thank everybody for all the interest and support we've had for this. Again, I thought we were going to have to struggle to find 30 hosts. We have 40 without doing much work. So thank you all. We'll keep you posted.
Thank you very much, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Alrighty, well, we're rounding out here. Our board member Carol is probably enjoying life much more than us over in Europe right now. So she will not be attending here today, but last at-large update, Leslie, if there was any updates? No updates from Leslie? Okay. Well, Leslie will be integral for our support and working through the bazaar next year, which we're really excited about. So great. And then I think from there, yeah, Tanya, I know you mentioned that from a block party standpoint, but I can kick it over to the boosters for any other general updates.
Yep. So we had our first board game night last Thursday in the plaza from 6:30 to 8:30 and had about 15 people come and a lot of games, and we got really positive feedback. So we are doing it again this coming Thursday from 6:30 to 8:30, and every Thursday subsequently, except for the last weekend or last Thursday of June will be Bollywood Dance United that came last year to the plaza, so they'll be there on Thursday night. So every Thursday night, plaza's activated with lots of fun stuff. Make sure to go to the stjohnsboosters.org/calendar website that has all the events going on. We had like 5 things like added today. Friends of Pure Bark, Javelina is having a art and DJ thing on June 24th. Just lots of stuff happening. So make sure to check out that calendar and check out our, thank you, RJ, and check out the Instagram. So also knit on Wednesdays, knitting in the plaza from 5:30 to 7:30. Big turnout on Saturday for National Knit Day. And so they have volunteers doing that. So yeah, just a lot of things tomorrow. So everybody knows, piggybacking on Austin's safety and livability, the DA, Mariel Moto, is the assistant, and she is going to be coming to St. John's for a roundtable tomorrow to meet with all the businesses and talk about what they are going to be able to provide for the St. John's businesses when there is theft and vandalism, and then also to hear personal stories from the businesses. So that's going to be a really great meeting in order to start tackling some of this theft in St. John's. So that's what I got.
Cool. And then, yeah, is that a public event, Tanya, or is that a private event that you're just informing people?
Private, just for the businesses. But I just, I like to let everybody know that we're doing something in order to help make St. John's a safer community.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you. Alrighty, well, we'll round things out then with SJCO. I thought I saw David on here. Do we have SJCO?
I'm here, Patrick, but really got nothing to report other than just like to thank the St. John's community for helping us with the farmers market. I can easily say we're having the best year that the St. John's farmers market has ever had in terms of folks showing up, vendors showing up, money being spent. Like it's a really good year. So thank you, St. John's. This is all because of you guys.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Well, great. Thank you, David. Well, with that, looks like we're 4 minutes over, so we can go ahead and adjourn here at 8:34. But yeah, thanks everybody in the room. Thanks for coming. Thanks everybody on Zoom. Be on the lookout for July and August. We'll get that figured out where we will be. But worst case, we'll see you back here in September. So thanks everybody.